Hi, everyone. I have a question I want to ask everyone sitting here today. A question that I've asked myself many, many times. Why must I be beautiful? According to the Oxford Dictionary, beauty is the quality of being pleasurable to the senses or to the mind. So, a beautiful thing is something that pleases the senses or the mind. But although I find the taste of cheesecake to be rich and comforting, a friend of mine calls it mush. Is it beautiful or not? My sister loves ASMR. It calms her and makes her happy, but that very same sound sends shivers down my spine. Is it beautiful or not? I can spend hours staring out at a foggy beach, mesmerized by the blend between ocean and sky. But my sister says there's nothing to look at. Is it beautiful? What one person finds pleasurable to the senses may be the opposite to another. So how do we define what is and isn't beautiful? Well, there's a saying that my mom loves. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. This means that beauty has no set standard. It all depends on what is pleasurable to the beholder. This applies to beautiful taste, beautiful sounds, beautiful sensations, beautiful views, and more specifically, beautiful people. A beautiful person is defined by the beholder. Who is the beholder of your beauty? If a person's beauty is defined by the beholder, who defines yours? Is it you? Or is it the people and influences around you? Do you love your big round eyes? Or did a doe eye versus siren eye video tell you to love them? Do you love dimples? Or do you love them because Tiana in Princess and the Frog has them and, well, she's a princess? Do you think that your smile is beautiful? Or have people stopped you down the hall and told you so? I've come to the conclusion that we are not the beholders of our own physical beauty. Whether or not we think of ourselves as beautiful depends on the messages that we receive from the people and influences around us, what they think about and how they portray our appearance. It's beauty based on the assessment of others. So my beauty is defined by the beholder. And the beholder is every book I've read, every video I've watched, and every person in the world that isn't me. Well, if that's the case, then wouldn't they define me in so many different ways? Because everyone has a unique sense of beauty, right? Well, yeah, that's true, but only to an extent. Take this example. One person likes the sharp, cool scent of mint. Another finds that a little too strong. He prefers the floral scent of roses. They both find different things pleasurable to the senses, but still those differences exist within a broader shared bubble. They can both appreciate the natural scents of the earth. Differences within a bubble. Scientists say that this bubble has evolutionary roots. A study by the University of Oxford and the Karolinska Institute in Sweden found that humans have evolved to have similar preferences for scents because it helped them survive. It helped them differentiate between what was and wasn't safe to eat. Similar studies have been performed at MIT, Penn State, and Harvard. The conclusion is that we as humans share the same general preferences for all of our senses, but the specifics differ. This evolutionary explanation may be true for our senses of taste, hearing, smell, and touch. But when it comes to sight, the most subjective sense of all, there's much more at play. Maybe in the past, what features humans liked depended on survival. Maybe we were attracted to people who looked like this and that because it was an indication of their health and reproductive abilities or their capabilities to protect. But in today's world, what we like to look at and what we desire to be is controlled by something bigger. I call it the mold. The mold is a mixture of history, racism, sexism, capitalism, basically any ism you can think of, and world affairs. The mold sets the ideal that we as people strive towards. It's slightly different as you go from country to country, but still highly westernized. And as the years have gone by, the mold has taken control over that natural bubble that encompasses humans' visual preferences. It has since blown that bubble up 1,000 times in size, so that now there's a huge blimp hanging over our heads every second of the day, controlling who we like and who we want to be. So to answer that question, don't people define my beauty in a variety of different ways? Yes, they do, but to a very small extent, because their sense of beauty is controlled by the mold, and by extension, so is the definition of yours. In North America, the mold has always told us that light skin and thin figures, or tall builds and sharp features were the ideal. If you fit that narrow ideal, you'd attract friends, make better impressions at work, be treated more leniently, have high self-confidence, and you would get to love your body. If you didn't fit that ideal, you wouldn't get to love your body. You'd have low self-confidence. You might have faced bullying and prejudice, and people would constantly be telling you what you should do to look more beautiful. Eventually, people had had enough. Activists spoke up against these narrow standards of beauty and established what is now the body positivity movement. This movement dismantles the idea that only people in the select category can be defined as beautiful. And I couldn't agree more. Not everyone needs to like thin figures and light skin. There's so much variety in the world. Let's accept the fact that we can find beauty in different types of people. And then body positivity adds that we should all love ourselves because we're all beautiful. And I don't agree with those words as much. Here's the thing. The mold has changed. The overarching ideal has become much more inclusive. But it's still you that defines my beauty, and me that defines yours. I remember one day in elementary school when someone told me that my hair was like a sponge. I went home and begged my mom to let me wear it straight in the next week because then I'd look beautiful. And now when I look around, black hair is being admired for the creative shapes and styles that it holds. I can already imagine all the young black girls who grow up loving that hair that makes them so beautiful. But what changed? What changed that made black girls see their hair as beautiful? The hair certainly didn't. It's the ideal. The preference held by the beholders of our beauty changed, and our confidence did a 360. When the beholders find us beautiful, we are, and we love ourselves because of that. When the beholders don't find us beautiful, we're not, and we hate ourselves because of that. The way things are now, our self-love is so attached to our beauty. And body positivity does nothing to change that. It promotes self-love in everyone, but self-love that still depends on being beautiful. It's just celebrating the fact that in the meantime, most of us are considered beautiful. We can love ourselves for now. But trends change. From thin to thick, soft to sharp, the beauty standard is constantly shifting. Can we guarantee that this inclusive ideal is going to last forever? And if it doesn't, will you no longer be beautiful? Will you no longer love yourself? That's why this aspect of body positivity is so harmful. Our beauty, the quality of being pleasurable to perceive, is totally out of our control. Not only does it depend on the evaluation of others, it's controlled by the societal ideal, a temporary trend that can change at any moment. So why? Why on earth should I attach my confidence to my beauty? Why must I be beautiful in order to be happy? And what's so bad about being ugly? Let's ignore the social implications of the word ugly, the judgment and shame from everyone around you. Let's ignore all of that just for a sec. Now, what's so bad about being ugly? Why are we so afraid to admit that we aren't considered beautiful? Body positivity tells us that we're gorgeous every second of the day. But sometimes that's hard to believe because we know that no one's perfect and that we have faults. So why must we convince ourselves that they don't exist? Short answer, we don't. I don't need to convince myself that I'm beautiful. I can admit that some of my features don't please the masses, that they are ugly. I don't need to lie to myself in order to be happy. We're not all beautiful. That is a fact, that is the truth, and that is entirely okay. It's important to love ourselves, but that love can depend on something besides beauty, something more important. There's so much to a person, their character, skills, thoughts, and perspectives. And there's so much to a body, its capabilities, strength, flexibility, and protection. So much to admire besides aesthetics. Now imagine if we valued ourselves based on these things, how that would encourage us to improve ourselves. If how much I loved myself depended on how good my character was, I'd try to be the best person I could be every single day. If I defined my value according to my capabilities, I'd become aware enough to realize that, hey, I don't have a lot going for me. But then I'd be able to change. These qualities are things that we are capable of improving, and things that, when improved, make us better people. The inner love and happiness that comes with knowing that you are a capable and virtuous individual, that's something no one can take away. Can't say the same for the giddiness you feel when someone calls you pretty. Now, I'm not telling you to stop maintaining your looks. That's not the point of this talk. I am asking you to stop tying your self-worth to your appearance, to find your value from within, a place no one else can interfere with. This will allow you to remain confident, no matter what others say or do. We can't control how they feel about us, but we can control how we feel about ourselves. So love yourself, but for the right reasons. I'm going to end my talk with an invitation to do as follows. When you get home, I want you to go and look into a mirror. Don't comment on your looks. Don't even think about beauty at all. Instead, think about the skills that you used that day, or the good character that you showed. Compliment yourself, by saying, I did great, not I look good. Do this tonight, tomorrow night, and the night after. It'll be slow, but soon enough you'll notice that your values have shifted. And who knows? If the way that we value ourselves begins to change, the way that we value others might just follow suit. Thank you.